Okay, so Nintendo just keeps dropping big things. It's actually insane. First we had the surprise Nintendo Direct, and then yesterday we had the news that the live-action Zelda movie will be released on March 26, 2027. Originally, I didn't think this was enough to cover, so I just thought I wouldn't make a video on it, but today they released a lot more information. And surprisingly, they didn't do it through their new Nintendo Today app, which I think is actually very interesting because that app was made for this kind of thing. But they didn't do it like that, they actually put it on a web page. And I was actually just scrolling through Twitter and found this, so here's what the new information is. The start date of filming for the Legend of Zelda live-action movie is November 4th, 2025. That's in around 7 months from now. Now, with them starting shooting that soon, I think it's safe to say that we're going to get a cast update pretty soon. And my hopes for a cast is that they're not well known to the public, so they can be established with this movie. So please don't put Jack Black as Ganondorf or Tom Holland as Link. It just won't work. And actually, you know what? They're gonna do 3 movies. So yeah, they want to make it a trilogy. You know, with that information alone, I feel like they're confident with how this movie will do. So if you want to know my complete thoughts on the live action aspect in general, I have another video on my channel from a while back that goes over all that. But in short summary, I do wish it was animated and not live action. However, with Miyamoto and Nintendo monitoring it very closely, it's probably gonna be fine. I trust them. I hope I'm not wrong. But the next part is the film location. This movie will be filmed in New Zealand. And if you weren't aware, New Zealand is where the Lord of the Rings trilogy was filmed, and those movies are absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. So if the Zelda movie has such a nice, natural, and beautiful setting, this could already be a huge win. I think it's good. It's a good decision. But don't go anywhere because there's still more that they revealed about this movie. So this is the direct summary of what they released for what the movie will be about. They say, a live-action adaptation of the video game franchise The Legend of Zelda follows Link, a young warrior destined to protect the magical kingdom of Hyrule from the forces of darkness. The land is under threat from Ganon, a ruthless warlord who seeks the Triforce, an ancient relic said to grant limitless power. To stop him, Link must embark on a perilous journey, battling monstrous creatures, exploring treacherous dungeons, and solving intricate puzzles to uncover sacred artifacts that can aid him in his quest. Now, one note I think is interesting is they said Ganon, which, you know, that is his more like malice concentrated form of Ganondorf. You know, at the end of Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf uses his last power to turn into Ganon. So I think it's interesting they didn't state Ganondorf, but I don't know what that's all about. So it seems like they will go with one of the older stories, which is honestly the perfect thing to do. This sounds a lot like Ocarina of Time to me, where Link has to stop Ganondorf from his evil plan, gaining the Triforce of power and using it to cause chaos in Hyrule. Link has to go through dungeons like the Fire Temple, the Water Temple, Shadow Spirit, all of those temples to get the stage medallions and beat Ganondorf once and for all. However, if they're gonna do 3 movies, I don't know how this is gonna work. I mean, they could do like a Majora's Mask thing and maybe like a Twilight Princess story after, or who knows, maybe they're gonna make their own like original stories that's like slightly based off of Ocarina of Time. I don't really know what their plan is here, but honestly what I thought they would do is do the Skyward Sword story if they're gonna make 3 movies, because that establishes the Curse of Demise, where, you know, the incarnation of the spirit of the hero like carries on and Zelda's bloodline. I really felt like that would be a good decision, but Ocarina of Time is a classic, so you know, that makes sense too. Well, anyways, that's all the news of the Zelda movie. I honestly didn't expect to get more that quickly, as we just got a release date of the movie yesterday, but Nintendo does seem confident in what they're doing, and you know, they're pumping out a lot of content with like the Switch 2 coming out soon, so I'm really excited for that too. But honestly, I was just worried how it will look in live action and who they'll cast and what they're gonna do for the story. But the story seems like a good choice for the movie, and I can't help but be excited now. Especially if they're gonna do 3 movies. I'm really curious to see what they do there, and I really do hope this movie does well and brings other people to play the games and experience the lore. The Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is just a few days away now, and before I end the video, I wanted to say I have a Google form up for people to share their predictions. They can share their predictions of what games they're gonna think or how the hardware is gonna work, and I will make a video right before the Direct and go over all of them. That's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are for the Zelda movie, or now movies, because it's going to be a trilogy, which is interesting information we did not know before. So thank you all and take care.